Thank you, Dave.
Thank you all very much for coming out to support the Ontario Party. My name is Vanessa Head, and I have the honor of running as your candidate in the Northumberland-Peterborough South riding. I'd like to start by telling you why I've chosen to run for office, and more specifically, why I've chosen to run with the Ontario Party. I'm a follower of Jesus, and I believe in the supremacy of God, the rule of law, and the inalienable rights of all people. I love our country, and I've been deeply troubled to see the true north, strong and free, become something we don't even recognize. Much like you, I have witnessed and have been subjected to the absolute trampling of our rights, the attack on our families, on our freedoms, and our faith. I have seen the crushing devastation on my neighbors, friends, and family. This has cost us so much more than the billions of dollars in debt, but also the incalculable cost in terms of mental health, suicides, needless deaths, economic loss, medical coercion, and harm to our seniors. Our youth have been deprived of hope for their futures. Every citizen has been harmed by this power-hungry and financially irresponsible government. The reality is, it's very breezy today. The reality is that we have been betrayed. The Conservative Party has been compromised and corrupted so much that we can no longer tell the difference between them and the other progressive parties. They have united against the very people that they're supposed to represent. On our watch, they've taken God out of every institution and out of the public square. Excuse me. That lake breeze is really breezy. Thank you. They've perverted our culture to one of absolute permissiveness without boundaries, blurring the lines between what is morally right and wrong. They've invaded our lives with divisive rhetoric, intentionally misleading media, and outright deception. They've censored free speech, isolated the dying, closed our churches, and showed no regard for human dignity against our most treasured cornerstone of our communities, our seniors. They've silenced our voices, and there was no one standing for truth and righteousness. The Freedom Convoy, God bless them, released the Canadian people to finally stand up and find their voices again. When I began to observe what the Ontario Party was building, I saw that we shared the same values. That is when I decided that I wanted to be part of their vision. I'm a regular Jane citizen, just like you, but I could no longer watch what is happening to my beautiful country and do nothing. This is my first election, and 2 years ago, I had no aspirations to take on this role. But the longer I watched my fellow citizens being abused, the more a passion burned inside me to do something. I'm only a humble and willing servant, but I will stand and be counted in this hour in our nation. I will seek to understand the real concerns of Ontarians, and I will work diligently to represent their interests. I will submit myself to the role of servant of the public, and I will rely on the grace of God to help me humbly represent my fellow citizens. I know what you might be thinking. Here are two candidates with this party with no prior political experience. But it has been said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It is time that we acknowledge that the Conservative Party has been infiltrated and compromised to no longer reflect the values of true Conservatives. We have had established politicians at the helm long enough. They no longer serve the citizens of this province. So, if you believe in your heart that we need to return our society to strong moral values, if you are alarmed at the level of government overreach, if you know in your heart that we have been deceived by our elected officials, If you see an abuse of power and a delirious hunger for even more control, if you believe in the values laid out in our party charter, and most importantly, if you wish to leave your children and grandchildren a free and beautiful future, then I say you must vote with your conscience. You must cast your ballot for the party that unashamedly stands for truth, freedom, faith, family, righteousness, and justice. God bless you and God bless Ontario.